All right, we are reviewing um my trading strategy. So what I'm doing is the past 150 trades I dumped into a spreadsheet. These are all these different trades. There's all 150 of them labeled out, and it gives, and this is all the data that's with it. Okay, now I'll go. I think I'm gonna do a full separate video about what to track in your trade journal, but the most important things that I'm looking at right now is which type of setup did I take and how far did it go? and as well as how much I risk compared to how much I'm supposed to be risking. That is another big one. So if you're risking, you know, let's say these are just plain and simple units. I'm supposed to be risking, let's say 23, but I'm risking 53. I mean, that's a substantial difference, right? That's double what I'm supposed to be risking, more than double what I'm supposed to be risking. So, especially what I'm supposed to be risking is like 16. It scales from 3 to 16, but not much more than that. Fives, that's the average risk that I should have depending on the trade and depending on if I single, double, or triple it. But even if I triple it, you're still risking way more than you're supposed to. Triple, you're not even supposed to. I did so many triple trades, meaning it just triples my risk, but on purpose, right? I tripled my risk on purpose, and that's what I'm supposed to be risking. I did that too many times, and that's not what you're supposed to do. So that's what I'm taking in right now. I'm just taking in what my results were, because when you're in the trading day, you don't really think about any of this. At least I don't. I'm trading. That's what I'm doing. I have to operate it, and I don't have time to think about so much stuff. So in the off hours, this is the time to think about it. Now, right now, currently, I'm looking at the setups. So I have a list of different setups in the summary page here. This basically just says these are all the setups that I have. I have 10 different setups that I take in the market. Okay, 10 different trades that are basketed together, So a breakout is not the same as a holding setup. A holding setup is not the same as an intuition trade. Intuition trade is certainly not the same as an anti-breakout. All of them are structured differently. All of them are different setups. And I think everybody has their own setup. If you don't have your own setup, go and trade without piece of paper in front of you, nothing, just trade. And you'll start to trade. You'll trade like over and over again. If you do trading long enough, you'll start to do the same things over and over again. And then at that point, you'll start categorizing these trades. But that's what I did. I just forgot about everything and just traded, and I started to find things, and I started to document them, meaning like I trade and trade and trade. Oh, and then this is a trade. I'm just gonna document it and like see what's going on, or put it away, right? Store it in a safe spot, and then a week later I'll have another trade that looks so similar, and like, okay, I'll put it over there in the same spot, and now I have a collection of 2, 3, 4, and it keeps counting. Now I have about 7 or 8 different trades that are fairly similar that kind of belong together, and at that point I'd categorize that as a setup. So a lot of this trading, in my opinion, is kind of categorization, like organization and matching. Very basic stuff, super basic, but I like it. I'm more of a simple brain type guy. So Anyways, these are the counts. The counts is right here. So out of 150 trades, 15 of them I did not take. I wasn't, meaning I didn't actually put the order in, but all the other trades I did. So I'm excluding the 15 that I didn't have time to place the order. And those are important because you can't include trades in this study that you actually didn't take, because how are you going to ensure that you take them in the future? You're not, because you've never taken them before and they go too fast, or they're overnight and you didn't see that, or whatever. It's bullcrap. All right. I'm not about bullcrap. I'm about real, man. I'm about truth. So I think we got to be truthful with ourselves. And if we didn't take the trade, therefore it shall not be in the study. So take the trades, whether you're working or not, whatever, I don't care. You're not going to have a pile of trades if you don't actually take them. And that's important, whether on simulator or live, don't matter. You got to actually go through those motions, in my opinion. Because how are you going to practice like this and like, oh, I'm going to include these trades, that you actually didn't take. And then in the future, you're going to be like actually going to have to trade them if you're going live, and it's going to feel different. It's going to be like foreign because you actually weren't taking the trades to begin with. So you got to take the trades. You got to have the most minimal change possible from simulated to live. Is pretty much the same exact thing. Actually, if you can make it the exact same routine from simulated environment to live environment, trading real money, that would be the best. That's what I'm trying to do. So I'm looking at my trade counts, and a lot of the trades, a lot of breakouts, a lot of holding setups, not many holding levels. There's only 7% of the trades were holding levels. About a quarter of the trades were intuition. So I'm immediately going like, okay, that's my biggest trades. So I'm going to have to take a look at intuitions. And then I was taking a look at the risk. So if you see this graph on the right here, the orange is the risk. What percent of all my risk that I'm taking, what percent of it is centered on this setup? But then the blue is the counts. What percentage of the trades? So the intuition trades in the middle here, the largest, is 24% of my trades were intuition trades, which requires no thought or anything, or actually only thought, sorry. And then my risk on those trades were 36% of my all around risk. I have 36% of my money on intuition trades, but they're only 24% of my trades. So that means that I have heavier weight on these intuition trades, and it would have to take it from elsewhere. So you see holding zones take less. Holding level creations, there's 7% of the trades, but I only risk 4% of my risk is allocated towards them. Same thing with breakout, same thing with holding setups. Now, I don't know if that's a proper way of doing things. I might want to have more risk on certain setups than others. So that right now, I'm going to take a look at what is optimal. What are the best setups to take more risk on? Now, I'm taking intuition trades, for example, 32 of them. I can go to my spreadsheet and select intuition as my setup, so it's only showing those setups, and then I'll take the furthest it went. Furthest is a keyword for how far did the trade go in my direction. How far would it have worked? How far did it work, actually? It doesn't matter if I got out a 1-to-1 or 2-to-1. I track how far it actually goes. So if it goes like 9-to-1, then I'm going to write down 9-to-1 here. But obviously, I show how much I get out at. So, anyways, because this will tell me how far we can expect these setups to go. Anyways, I did that. I put all these, how far it goes, into my optimization spreadsheet. I'll just do it right now. I put it into my optimization spreadsheet, and it'll tell me what's optimal. Okay. So as you can see here, this is 32. Yep, 32 trades. As you can see, expectancy on $100 bets, everything's negative. Everything's negative except a 1-to-1. So the risk rewards here, if you were going for 10-to-1s, you wouldn't be profitable. If you were going for 3-to-1s, you would not be profitable. If you're going for 2-to-1s, you would not be profitable. But if you're going for 1-to-1s, you are barely profitable. So intuition trades this is good information for me, because are my hunches right? No, not really. I mean, it's not showing any edge. I wouldn't count this as any edge. 53%, no. I wouldn't count that as edge at all. So are my hunches right? No. Your hunches pretty much mean nothing at this point, because that's what the data shows. That's all I'm saying. That's what the data shows. So I can keep on doing these hunch trades, which is our intuition, which I just think this is going to happen, and I'm going to continue tracking them. But maybe I don't want to put on so much risk on them. So maybe when I'm going to my summary here and I see that like intuition trades are 24% of my trading, but 36% of my risk, like most of my risk, a third of my risk is allocated towards intuition setups, which is way too much on those. So let's bring that down and bring up other ones. So that means intuition trades, remember to do only single risk on them. You can still trade 24% of your trades are intuition, but just have them as lighter risk. It's not a problem. You can still trade them. Just have lighter risk. So that's what I'm going to say from a takeaway. Risk proper amount on int, single, double, triple. I think yeah. Risk proper amount on ints, on intuitions, single or very rarely, or only 25% of the time you may double the trade. But other than that, you keep the risk there, and no triples. No triples. That just means I don't risk so much on these intuition trades. That's all. I'm not going to change anything to do with my trading. I'm going to keep on trading intuitions. I'm going to keep on doing anything I want. But the CFO is telling me these are the rules. I got to work with him. I got to work with my CFO. He's the one that does all the shit that I don't want to do. So as a CEO, when I'm just trading, gunslinging, I got to listen to that CFO. So CFO tells me, all right, I can only takeaways. These are big takeaways. These are for the account. This is for profit in the future. Risk smaller on intuition trades. Going on. I'm going to look at holding setups. So I took a picture of the breakouts. Breakouts were very profitable, and 1-to-1s, they were extremely profitable for 1-to-1s. Honestly, I think 1-to-1s would be the move, because if you can see here, it's 1-to-1 is 68%. Almost 70% of trades go 1-to-1. That's phenomenal. Anyways, 2-to-1's even better. 53% go 2-to-1s, which means it's a greater expectancy because you're getting 2-to-1 on it. I think 2-to-1s are the way to go for breakouts. But I just want to take a gander at what the breakouts look like, because I really do think that these can sometimes be different, amongst each other. These can sometimes be different. So let's take a look at one that goes 3-to-1 here. It's a 2-bar bubbling base micro end of trend. That means end of trend is a big deal. End of trend is something that I might have to place in here. I actually just want to optimize that quick. Just end of trend is a trait that I say if something's overextended and I think it's going to turn the other way. I think it's going to turn the other way, but I'm certainly not sure of it, but I'd like to think that I'm sure of it. So let's test how sure I was. Let's test the actual results. So on end of trend trades, you're generally, what? Is this the same exact thing? This is the same exact thing as intuition. 6. No way. 32 trades too. Is this something messed up here? No. Because they're mostly, where's intuition? No. They're not all intuition. Isn't that bizarre? Hold up. Look at this optimization. And then look at, oh man. This is bizarre. Look at intuition right here. See this? 32 trades. Now look at this. What's the difference? There is actually a difference, but wow, isn't that insane? So $6 is the expected profit on a 1-to-1, but then it goes 34. Same thing here. That's gnarly. 38. Oh, it goes to 25 here. So it's not the same data set. It's certainly not the same data set, but it looks eerily similar. What this means is end of trend trades, we should take a 1-to-1 or just trade less on end of trend, because end of trend are not conclusive of profit. As you can see here, it goes 1-to-1, 0, 3-to-1, 1-to-1, almost, barely. It's not very conclusive. There's certainly some that go really well. End of trend. I don't know. They're not. It's not a deciding trait. It's not a trait that boosts us at all. In fact, it kind of actually is negative. So end of trend is kind of counter trend. So okay, interesting. So as a takeaway, I think end of trend. End of trend is not an odds enhancer. That's a weird one, because end of trend I always would think it is, because it's at the end of the trend. It can go further, and it doesn't. It's not true. So, what was I just gonna do? Okay. Well, whatever. What do I want to do? So, trade counts, intuitions are not that good. The average risk reward is right here. Average how far it goes in terms of risk. Holding levels go 4-to-1 generally. Only 10 samples, but it's all right. 19 breakouts, it goes 2-to-1. Holding setups goes 1-to-1. Holding level creations are interesting. It goes 2-to-1. I always like holding level creations. I really like that. I really like that setup. So it's good to see that it goes 2-to-1. Ints go 2-to-1 as well. An average, obviously it wouldn't be profitable at 2 to 1. Because we did the optimization, and I don't want to optimize these. Anything less than 15 is just not optimizable. It's just too small. Anti-breakouts are interesting. It goes 2 to 1. Holding splits are interesting. They goes 4 to 1. Those seem to be the best trades. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. So as far as risk go, chill on the risk, and then on the intuition trades, which happen to be a lot of trades, risk the proper amount of single or maybe double once in a while, but no triples. End of trend is not an odds enhancer, so you don't need to take as many trades with that. Just be weary of that. 3 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute is the time frames that I trade generally. It looks like to be 90% of my trades are within a 3 minute time frame, 5 minute, or 15. Segregated like this means 14% of my trades. That doesn't make sense. Some is 90%. Yeah. Yep. So 14% of my trades are 15 minute trades. 15 minute time frame, but then the 3 minutes and 5 minutes are kind of split amongst that as the two-thirds of them. So those are the majority of my trades here. Majority of my trades are 3 minute and 5 minute. So that's cool to see. The 3 minute expectancy is only profitable at a 1 to 1, barely. The 5 minute, however, that's the 15. No, that's the 5. Where's the 5? Yeah. Yep. The 5 minute, however, was really profitable all across the board. And a 1 to 1, a 2 to 1, a 3 to 1, a 4 to 1, a 5 to 1 even was all profitable. So a 5 minute time frame looks to be way more profitable than a 3 minute time frame. So that is important to note. 5 minute time frame is fantastic. 15 minute time frame is negative all across the board. So the 15 minute time frames, when you do a 15 minute time frame trade, it's likely not going to work, even in a 1 to 1. So I think just saying win rate is so green, so 5 minute. Let's just do this. This is as the takeaways. The 15 minute is red, the 5 minute is green, and then the 3 minute is yellow. So that just means that generally the 5 minute trades are more profitable than 3 minute, and then both the 5 minute and the 3 minute are more profitable than the 15 minute. So do I want to cut out the 15 minute time frames? No. I'm not basing my whole trading career off of 150 trades. That's certainly not going to happen. So I'm going to trade. Nothing changes in my trading. I told you, nothing changes. All that changes is I'm not going to risk as much on the ints, and maybe I'll not risk as much on the 15 minutes, or actually probably not. I'm probably going to do the same. This is just a note for me to see as a takeaway. That's all. It's actually not going to affect anything. I don't think I'm going to use that data. So, unfortunately, I'm still going to trade all these time frames. But we'll see. If this continues to be a thing, like past another 150, a completely different sample of trades, and the same thing occurs, okay, then I'll start like, all right, I might not trade 15-minute time frames or something. Like, I'll just narrow down to, like, that's the 5 minute is the only time frame. I don't know. I'll cross that bridge when I get there. I think it's important to note that 40% of my over-risked trades that I risk more money on than I should, because I have an allocated risk for each trade I need to. It tells me exactly what I should be risking, and I see it beforehand, but I end up risking more by my own choosing. And 40% of those trades are intuition setups, which are all feeling in my eyes, what I see in the chart and what I've taken into my brain in the past or whatever. However, that's calculated in my brain. That's my feeling. I think it's gonna go down or whatever it is. Usually based on the chart. Those are intuition setups, 40% of them, but there's a 60% win rate for those on a 1-to-1. So they win the majority of the time. So yes, you're confident, and yes, they usually work, but that doesn't mean you need to over risk so much. You can just do a triple on them if you wanted to, but no more than that. You don't need more than that. Maybe a double. Just do a double. So anyways, yeah, and that's the takeaways. That's all I need. That's all I need for this 150 trade. So I'll take these takeaways. That's what I got from here. I looked at risk already. Not in this video, but I looked at risk. I looked at, why I start doubling trades, and I think that's important. In tripling, stick to the risk, and then as far as risk reward goes, should I be holding contracts longer for risk rewards? I think you could maybe like holding levels and holding splits. You can probably hold for a 3-to-1 or something like that, but it's just risky. You never really know what's going to happen with the trade. So I like 1-to-1s, truly. I like 1-to-1s a lot. So I don't think I'm going to do anything different on this. I don't think I'm going to do anything different. Some certain trades I do ask for more risk reward. I set my target further. Some I don't. And that's just how I'm going to continue doing it at this point. But I'm not oblivious to maybe we can switch things up at some point. Anyways, trade booking. Let's put this in to the ongoing here. Okay, these are the takeaways. And that's all I need. That's all I need to set my trading up here. Takeaways from 150 trades up to 11/3/2023. All right, there you go. And those are the takeaways. And that's important. That's all I need to know for when I'm trading next. And that's all we need, folks. I think that's all we need. All right. Peace.